Hi everyone, I'm Xiaobai from Susan's family. Today I'll teach you how to make a mineral art bag from the Dunhuang series. This bag is divided into Motif 1, Motif 2, Motif 3, sewing the motifs together, the strap, and crocheting around the edges, and the magnetic clasp. First, crochet motif 1, using the magic ring method. Crochet outwards in rounds counterclockwise. Color changes are required during crocheting. Several crochet stitches will be applied. All are marked on the chart. I won't list them one by one. Please watch my demonstration for the specific crochet method. Take out the corresponding yarn. Here for easier viewing, the colors are random. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size. Let's start with a magic ring. Left hand holds the yarn in place. Make a slip knot. This starting knot doesn't count as one stitch. Gently tighten it. Next, work 5 chain stitches. Once completed, pick up the top loop of the first chain. Hook the top loop of the first chain. Join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the starting chain. Next, crochet the first round. First, chain 2 to begin. Then in the space of the magic ring, work 1 double crochet. The starting tail can be placed over the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Chain 3. One double crochet, 2 puff, bobble stitch. Hereinafter referred to simply as the bobble stitch. First, make 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into the starting space. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops. 1 incomplete double crochet is completed. Continue to make 1 more stitch. Yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into the starting space. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over. Pull through the first 2 loops. Another incomplete double crochet is completed. Finally, yarn over the hook. Draw through all the loops at once. 1 bobble stitch is crocheted. Next, chain 3. One bobble stitch. First, make 2 incomplete double crochets. Finally, yarn over the hook. Draw through all the loops at once. The bobble stitch is completed. Continue crocheting bobble stitches into the starting chain hole. Make 3 chain stitches between the bobble stitches. Refer to the chart. Finish the remaining part. Join with a slip stitch in the first double crochet stitch. Pull tight. Secure with one chain stitch. Leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. The yarn tail can be left unprocessed for now. The starting tail has already been secured around the circle. Trim the excess yarn tail. Round 1 is completed. Use the side with the clearer texture as the right side. Keep the right side facing you in the following rounds. Now start crocheting round 2. Take the yarn in the corresponding color. First, join the yarn. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Hook the yarn out through the chain space on the right side of the slip stitch in round 1. The yarn is successfully joined. Whenever you need to change colors in the following steps, you can join the yarn using the same method. Now work a 4DC popcorn stitch. Later, it will be simply referred to as a popcorn stitch. Since this is the beginning of the round, the first popcorn stitch is a bit different. Start with 2 chain stitches as the beginning chain. Then work 3 double crochets in the same chain space. Once completed, enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Remove the crochet hook. Insert it into the 2 strands of the turning chain. Pull the loop through. Then crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. The first popcorn stitch is completed. The securing chain counts as its stitch. Next, crochet 5 chain stitches. Into the next chain space. Work 1 popcorn stitch. First, crochet 4 double crochet stitches. Once completed, remove the crochet hook. Insert into the first double crochet stitch. Pull the loop through. Then crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Another popcorn stitch is completed. Next, follow the same method as the second popcorn stitch. Into the chain space of the previous round, work a popcorn stitch. Leave a 5 chain space between popcorn stitches. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the first popcorn stitch. Pull tight. Leave a yarn tail and fasten off. Round 2 is completed. Continue to crochet round 3. On round 1, attach yarn into the chain space on the right side of the slip stitch join. Crochet 3 chain stitches to begin. Count it as 1 double crochet stitch. When crocheting the first chain stitch, wrap the chain from round 2 into it. Then crochet 1 chain stitch. Treat this chain as a corner. Next chain space. On the right side of where the popcorn stitch was worked, crochet 2 double crochets. Wrap the chain from round 2 into the stitches as you crochet. Once completed, crochet 4 chain stitches. On the left side of where the popcorn stitch was worked, crochet 2 double crochets. Treat the chain space where this popcorn stitch is as one side when crocheting the stitches. Continue repeating the sides and corners going downward. Keep crocheting all the way around to finish the round. Finally, in the chain space at the position of the beginning chain, crochet 1 more double crochet. To complete this side. Next, on the beginning chain, count upward from the bottom. Pick up the top 2 threads of the third chain. Slip stitch. Pull tight. There's no need to break the yarn for this round. Round 3 is completed. Next, work on round 4. Chain 1 to begin, which serves as the turning chain for the single crochet, which doesn't count as 1 stitch. Work 1 single crochet into the chain space at the corner. Chain 4. Next, at the edge position, work 4 double crochet stitches. And into the middle popcorn stitch, work 1 treble crochet 5 together. First, work 5 incomplete treble crochets. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert into the left stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pass through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again, pass through the first 2 loops. 1 incomplete treble crochet is done. Work 1 more stitch into the adjacent stitch, yarn over the hook twice. Insert. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pass through the first 2 loops, repeat twice. Once. Twice. Another incomplete treble crochet is done. If you can't find the exact spot, just crochet roughly in the middle position. Wrap the yarn around the hook while crocheting and include the chain of the 3rd round. Yarn over the hook 1 last time. Draw through all the loops on your hook at once. Complete 5 treble crochets together as 1 stitch, then work 4 chain stitches. Treat the crocheted stitches as one group. Move on to the next group. The chain space at the corner. Work 1 single crochet. 4 chain stitches. At the edge position, work 5 incomplete treble crochets, and complete them as 1 stitch. First, make 5 incomplete treble crochets. Popcorn stitch. Wrap the yarn around the hook while crocheting and include the chain loop of the 3rd round. Yarn over the hook 1 last time. Draw through all the loops on your hook at once. Complete the 5 treble crochets as 1 stitch. Then work 4 chain stitches. This completes another group. Repeat this stitch pattern. Keep crocheting all the way around until the round is complete. Finish by slip stitching into the first single crochet. Leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters before cutting the yarn. The fourth round is now complete. Now let's move on to the fifth round. Attach the yarn in the chain space to the right of the slip stitch from the previous round. Make 3 chain stitches to begin, which counts as 1 double crochet. In the same chain space, crochet 4 more double crochets. Single crochet stitch, correspondingly make 1 double crochet. Chain space on the left side, crochet 5 double crochets. Treat the crocheted stitches as one side, which means crochet 1 double crochet at the single crochet position. Chain spaces on both the left and right sides. Crochet 5 double crochets into each respectively. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. Consider it as a corner. Repeat the side and corner crocheting downward. Keep crocheting all the way around. Once completed, join with a slip stitch on the beginning chain. Leave a yarn tail, fasten off the yarn. Round 5 is finished. Finally crochet round 6. On the right side of the joining position from the previous round, join the yarn in the chain space at the corner. Make 3 beginning chains as a turning chain. Then work double crochets into each stitch accordingly. This stitch is a bit distorted. Pick up the top 2 strands and crochet. Match up to the corresponding position. Work 1 double crochet into the chain space at the corner. Consider the crocheted stitches as one side. Then make 2 chains. Treat it as a corner. Repeat the crochet of sides and corners downward. Keep crocheting until the entire round is complete. Join with a slip stitch to the beginning chain at the end. Leave a yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Tuck in the remaining yarn tails along the backside texture. This completes round 6 of crocheting. And motif 1 is also completed. Refer to the chart put together to check the size of the piece. If the size differs significantly from the labeled dimensions, it is recommended to adjust your tension and recrochet the last few rounds. Everyone, follow the method demonstrated earlier. Refer to the color chart and complete all the required motif 1 pieces. Next, crochet motif 2. Use the chain ring method to start. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. You will need to change colors while crocheting. The new stitch technique used is single crochet increase, treble crochet 3 stitches together, treble crochet, chain 3 picket. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, start with a foundation chain. The method is the same as starting for motif 1. I've already prepared the swatch here. Next, begin working the first round. 1 beginning chain stitch. Then in the starting chain hole, crochet the corresponding number of single crochets. Finish by joining with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Round 1 is completed. Continue crocheting round 2. 1 beginning chain stitch. Next, work 1 single crochet increase, which means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. After that, crochet 1 single crochet. Treat the crocheted stitches as a group. Repeat crocheting this group of stitches. Keep crocheting all the way around. Finally at the first stitch, slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Round 2 is completed. Next, crochet round 3. At the insertion position of the slip stitch, join the yarn. Chain 3. Then work 1 treble crochet 3 stitches together. Total of 3 stitches. Finally yarn over. Draw through all loops at once. Treble crochet 3 tog completed. Next, make a chain 3 picket. Hereafter referred to simply as picket. First chain 3. Then pick up a strand from the front side of the current stitch. And 3 strands from the left side. Crochet 1 slip stitch. Picket stitch completed. Next, chain 4. Insertion position is at the bottom left stitch. Crochet 1 slip stitch. Treat the worked stitches as a group. Next, work the next group. Chain 3. Treble crochet 3 stitches together. Finally yarn over. Draw through all loops at once. 1 treble crochet 3 stitches together completed. Next, make 1 picket stitch. First chain 3. Next, pick up 1 strand from the front. And 3 strands from the left side. Crochet 1 slip stitch. 1 picket stitch completed. Then chain 4. One slip stitch. This completes another group. Repeat this stitch pattern around. Keep crocheting until the round is done. The last incomplete treble crochet is made at the joining position. Finally, at the joining spot, make 1 slip stitch without tightening. Then chain 1 to secure. Leave a yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the backside texture. Round 3 is completed. Next, crochet round 4. Join the yarn in any picot's chain space. If you can't find the exact position, insert the hook into the middle of the picket stitch. Chain 1 to begin. 1 single crochet. Chain 4. One treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook into the loose slip stitch below the top 2 strands. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. Treble crochet is completed. Then chain 4. Treat the crocheted stitches as a group. Move on to the next group. Into the chain space of the picket stitch, single crochet 1. Chain 4. One treble crochet. Yarn over the hook twice. Insert the hook into the top 2 strands of the slip stitch below. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. The treble crochet is completed. Then chain 4. This completes another group. Repeat this stitch pattern in the following groups. Continue crocheting all the way around. Once completed, slip stitch into the first stitch. Round 4 is finished. Now let's work on round 5. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Chain space on the left side, work 3 double crochets. Into the stitch position, work 1 double crochet. Chain space, work 3 double crochets. Left stitch, work 1 double crochet. The crocheted stitches are considered as one side, then chain 2. Considered as a corner. Repeat the side and corner crocheting downward. Keep crocheting all the way around. Note: the first and last stitches of the side are worked in the same stitch. Finally, slip stitch into the beginning chain. Fasten off the yarn. Round 5 is completed. Move on to round 6. In the previous round, join yarn with a slip stitch on the corner to the right. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. 1 chain stitch space. Chain corresponds to the 1 stitch underneath. Work 1 double crochet in the next stitch. One chain stitch. Continue alternating between double crochets and chain stitches. Note: the chain corresponds to the 1 stitch below. Keep crocheting all the way to the stitch before the corner. Reach the corresponding position. Chain space at the corner. Work 1 double crochet. The completed stitches are considered as one side, then crochet 2 chain stitches. Considered as a corner. Continue repeating the side and corner crochet downward. Keep crocheting all the way around. After completing the crocheting, slip stitch into the turning chain. Cut the yarn. Round 6 is completed. Finally crochet the 7th round. On the previous round, attach yarn at the corner to the right of the slip stitch position. Work 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Crochet 1 double crochet into the corresponding chain space. Continue working 1 double crochet into each stitch position downward. One double crochet into the chain space. Keep crocheting up to the stitch before the corner. Reach the corresponding position. Into the chain space at the corner, crochet 1 double crochet. Treat the crocheted stitches as one side. Then crochet 2 chain stitches. Consider it as one corner. Repeat the side and corner crocheting downward. Keep crocheting all the way around to finish the round. After completing the crocheting, slip stitch into the beginning chain. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture on the wrong side. The 7th round is completed. Motif 2 is also completed. The size of motif 2 after crocheting is roughly the same as motif 1. Everyone follow the method just demonstrated. Refer to the color chart. Complete all the required motif 2 pieces. Next, crochet motif 3. Approximately half the size of motif 2. Use the chain ring method to start. Work back and forth. The new stitch technique used is treble crochet decrease, double crochet 2 in 1. Please watch the demonstration. First, cast on. The method is the same as casting on for motif 1. Next, work row 1. 1 chain to start. This completes the first row. The side with clearer texture on this row will be the right side of the entire piece. Next, work row 2. First, 1 chain to start. Turn the work. Start crocheting the corresponding stitch from the first stitch. Pay attention, when crocheting on the wrong side, the stitch is on the top left. After completing the crocheting, leave a yarn tail, cut the yarn. Row 2 is now complete. Next, we'll work on row 3. Hold the piece with the right side facing you. Attach the yarn to this stitch on the edge of row 2. Join yarn. Chain 3 to start. Work 1 treble crochet into the left stitch. One picket stitch. First, chain 3. Then pick up the strand in front of the stitch. And the strand on the left side. Work 1 slip stitch. Chain 4. Follow the chart downward. Keep crocheting until right before the last treble crochet decrease position. When you reach the corresponding position, work 1 treble crochet 2 stitches together. After completing, yarn over, draw through all loops on your hook in once. Treble crochet decrease is finished. Finally, work 1 picket stitch. Chain 3. Pick up the strand in front of the stitch and the 2 strands on the left side. Work a slip stitch. Leave a yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Row 3 is completed. Continue crocheting row 4 downward. Turn the fabric with the right side facing you. Join the yarn in the chain space of the picket stitch on the right edge. Attach the yarn. Chain 1 as a beginning chain. 1 single crochet. Refer to the chart below. Complete this row by following the chart. After completing the crocheting, do not cut the yarn. Row 4 is completed. Continue crocheting row 5. 3 chain stitches as a foundation. Match the last stitch of the previous row. Turn the work. Continue on this same stitch. Work 1 double crochet. Refer to the chart below. Keep crocheting until reaching the last stitch position. Arrived at the corresponding position. On this last stitch, work 1 double crochet increase, means working 2 double crochets in the same position. After completing, leave a yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Row 5 is completed. Remaining rows 6, 7. The crochet method is simple, all done on the right side of the motif. Crochet from right to left. Just cut the yarn after finishing. No new stitch techniques used. Just follow the chart to crochet. So far, the explanation for motif 3 is completed. Follow the method demonstrated earlier. Complete the required motif 3 pieces. All motifs have been crocheted. Next, proceed to sew the motifs together. Use the whip stitch method for sewing. First, refer to the layout diagram or the finished product. Position the motifs accordingly. Sew the edges and corners along the arranged motifs. The sewing method for motif 1 and motif 2 is the same. Match and sew the edges and corners. The sewing method for motif 3 is slightly different. Please watch the demonstration. First, sew motif 1 and motif 2 together. Take a longer sewing thread. Refer to the chart for specific color schemes. Thread the needle. Pick up 2 adjacent motifs. This is a sample used for demonstration. The motifs are not for reference. Focus on learning the sewing method. Place them with wrong sides facing each other. Align the edges and corners. Weave in the yarn tail at the edge of the wrong side of one motif. Then exit through the chain space at the corner of the back motif. Then start sewing this corner. Insert from front to back. Slightly tighten. To make it more secure, you can sew over this part one more time. Continue inserting the needle from front to back. This method of sewing from front to back is called whip stitch. Then move to the left, sew one stitch to another. Don't sew too tightly. And don't make it too loose. Keep the fabric flat and neat. Keep sewing until finishing the chain space at the left corner. Now the two motifs are sewn together. Continue sewing downward. Then take another motif. The method is the same. Place the wrong sides of the motifs together. Align the corners. Sew this corner first. You can sew over this part twice. Then sew along this edge normally. Moving down, keep sewing the corresponding edges and corners. If the yarn runs out while sewing, first thread the yarn to the back side. Weave the yarn along the texture on the wrong side. Then join a new yarn. Using the same method. Continue sewing downward. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate it. Next, let's sew motif 3. First, sew the two sides of motif 3 together. Face the right side of the fabric toward yourself. Fold it in half along the center position. Align the beginning and ending ends. Insert the hook into the approximate position of the edge to sew. First, secure the yarn tail on the wrong side. Pay attention to keeping the fabric flat and neat while sewing. This way the sides of Motif 3 are sewn neatly. There are 2 Motif 3 pieces here. Each will serve as one of the 2 corners at the bottom of the bag. The side you just sewed should be level with the bottom of the bag. Then proceed to sew according to the regular edge and corner sewing method. The last row of Motif 3. Each stitch at the beginning and end corresponds to one corner. Take the connected motifs. Place Motif 3 in the corresponding position. Let's start by sewing this corner. Take the first stitch of this edge and sew it to the corner of the upper motif. You can sew through the same spot twice for extra strength. Then continue sewing one stitch to one stitch across the rest of the edge. Now sew down this corner. First attach it to the corner of the motif on the right side. You can add a couple extra stitches at the corner if needed. Continue sewing the remaining part until it's complete. Keep sewing until you reach the last stitch position. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Take this stitch and sew it to the corner of the upper motif. Add a few extra stitches at the corner. Don't leave any big holes. Finally, weave the yarn tail into the wrong side. Follow the texture on the back side to secure it. Once it's securely fastened, trim off the excess yarn tails. This motif 3 is now sewn together. Using the same method, complete sewing the other motif 3. With that, the sewing of the motifs is now explained. Next we will learn how to make the strap. It comes in two styles, crossbody and shoulder strap. The crocheting method is the same, only the row count differs. Take the completed motif and fold it in half like this. You can see there are 4 raised motifs. Each motif corresponds to 1 strap, for a total of 4 straps. After completion, sew the 2 straps on the same side together accordingly. Please watch the demonstration. Let's start crocheting the first strap. Face the front side of the motif towards yourself. Begin at any of the raised motifs too. On the rightmost stitch of the edge above. Join the yarn. Start working row 1. Make 3 beginning chains. Then work double crochets into each stitch accordingly. Keep crocheting all the way to the end of this edge. This completes row 1 of crocheting. Continue with row 2. Make 3 beginning chains. Turn the workpiece over. Begin from the second stitch. Work double crochets into each stitch accordingly. Finish this row completely. The last double crochet is worked into the beginning chain. Row 2 is now completed. For the following rows, follow the same crocheting method, and complete the remaining rows. This concludes the explanation for the first strap. Please refer to the chart, and complete the remaining 3 straps. When crocheting, pay attention to the 2 straps on the same side. The other one can be fastened off normally. The crossbody and shoulder styles have different row counts. Please pay attention to the chart while crocheting. After completing the crocheting, use the reserved yarn tail, and apply the whip stitch sewing method, to sew the 2 straps on the same side, matching one stitch to another. The method is similar to sewing on motifs. Remember to place the wrong sides facing each other when sewing. Keep the fabric piece from twisting. Everyone can sew it together on their own. That's all for the strap explanation. Next we'll add the edging. Divide it into edging 1 and edging 2. The crochet methods are similar. You'll crochet 1 round along the bag opening motifs and straps. Let's start with edging 1. There are 2 identical ones. Each is worked along the inside of the strap and the bottom fabric edge. Crochet 1 round. The new stitch technique used is single crochet decrease. Please watch the demonstration. Hold the motif with the right side facing you. Refer to the chart. Find the joining position. Join the yarn. Work 1 chain as beginning chain. 1 single crochet decrease. First work 2 incomplete single crochets. Hook into the chain space at this corner. Draw the yarn through. 1 incomplete single crochet is done. Continue to work 1 more stitch in the adjacent corner's chain space. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Another stitch is done. Finally yarn over. Draw through all loops at once. The single crochet decrease is completed. Move down to the edge. Work single crochets evenly along the edge. Keep crocheting until this edge is done. After completing the crocheting, work 1 single crochet decrease. First work incomplete single crochets in the adjacent chain spaces at the corners of the motifs. Work the incomplete single crochets. Finally yarn over and draw through all loops at once. The single crochet decrease is completed. Continue working single crochets evenly. Crochet until this edge is done. For the next corner, work 1 single crochet. Move to the strap position. Pick up the entire standing chain. Work 2 single crochets in corresponding positions. In the double crochet position, pick up the entire double crochet and work 2 single crochets. From now on, work 2 single crochets in each row correspondingly. Just make sure the fabric lies flat and looks neat. Please refer to the chart. Continue crocheting around to finish this round. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the backside texture. Edging 1 is completed. Following the method just demonstrated, finish the other edging 1. Next, crochet edging 2. The method is similar to edging 1. Along the outer side of the strap, and the edge of the motif underneath. Crochet 1 round. The crocheting method is quite simple. Just follow the chart directly. That's all for the edging explanation. Finally, attach the magnetic clasps. There are 2 pieces like this. The side with the bump is the male part. The indented side is the female part. The bag has no front or back. Sew them onto the middle two motifs respectively. Please watch the demonstration. Refer to the chart. Take a strand of corresponding color yarn, about 30 centimeters. Take one strand. Insert into the yarn needle. Tie a knot at the beginning and end. Set it aside for now. Start by attaching the male part. Place the side with the larger bump facing up. The other side should face the wrong side of the fabric. Position it roughly centered on the motif. Leave a slight distance from the fabric edge. The exact sewing position can also be adjusted based on personal preference. Once the position is decided, sew along the 4 holes on the edge. Pay attention while sewing. Make sure the front side of the fabric doesn't show any stitches, to keep it looking neat. There's no specific sewing method required, as long as it's secure. Finally, hide the yarn tails. This way, the male part is securely attached. Using the same method, sew the female part onto the symmetrical position of another central motif. With that, the explanation of the magnetic clasp is complete. The entire bag has been fully explained. If you have any unclear parts during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.